What's up guys, it's Danta. A while back, I decided to go back to Draenor and work on finishing up the Nemesis titles that I still needed. But that wasn't all. I also wanted to finally get the Lord of War / Lady of War and Warlord of Draenor titles. Because honestly, I think there's no cooler title for an orc than Warlord of Draenor. So when I rolled a new orc shaman, I just had to get it, you know. Now, when Warlord of Draenor launched, I did some PvP and got like 4 or 5 Nemesis titles by just spamming Ashran. But, like many of us, I eventually gave up. Now 10 years later, I decided to go check if there's finally an easier way to grab those titles. And, well, there is. So, for those of you who also want to get some of the coolest titles in the game, without wasting a lot of time to get them, I've put together this short guide. I will show you how to easily complete every Nemesis quest, and how you can complete the Highmaul Colosseum quest for the Lady of War or Lord of War title. Now once you've done both, you will get the Warlord of Draenor title. I had planned to release this video earlier, but to be honest, ever since Path of Exile 2 came out in early access, I've been playing it non-stop. It's an amazing game, and I hope that those of you that are playing it right now are having a blast as well. Anyway, back to WoW. Now, before we get started, there is just one more thing that you should know. Even though this can all be done very easily, you are still going to need people for it. But don't worry, I will show you how I found people to help, even though I mostly play solo. So, for those that did not play back in WoD and have no idea what I mean with Nemesis titles, basically after building a tier 2 Colosseum or Gladiator Sanctum in your garrison, you'd unlock quests to defeat 500 enemy players of a specific race. Completing one of those quests rewards you with a unique title. I will put a list up on the screen with the titles that you can get. The coolest, in my opinion, are the Butcher for killing 500 Taurens or Draenei Destroyer for killing 500 Draenei. Now, killing 500 players of a specific race might sound easy. You'd think that you could just queue up for BGs and that you will eventually get it. Well, you are wrong. These kills only count in Ashran or in the open world of Draenor. That's why I went with the open world tactic, which, if done correctly, with a 5-man party, lets you earn these Nemesis titles in around 5 to 10 minutes. Even if you are not super efficient and are only able to find one more player for your party, it shouldn't take more than 40 minutes, which is still much faster than grinding in Ashran without a party. So before we get started with the killing, we have to set up a couple of things. First, you will want to upgrade your garrison all the way up to level 3. I'm not entirely sure if your garrison needs to be upgraded to max before you can upgrade your Gladiator Sanctum to level 2 or 3. But just to be safe, do it right away. Now once your garrison is set, build the Gladiator Sanctum and upgrade it to level 2. You can buy the level 2 blueprints from Torg if you are Horde, or Kincaid if you are Alliance. I will include the locations of both vendors in the description below. Now if you don't have enough garrison resources, you could always buy some huge ogre caches from the auction house. They basically give you 1000 garrison resources. Now if you also want to get the Lady of War or Lord of War title, you are going to need a level 3 Gladiator Sanctum. To unlock the level 3 blueprint, you must earn the Bone Collector achievement by collecting 4000 broken bones. Each kill typically gives you around 2 to 6 bones, so you will eventually get this achievement while going for the Nemesis titles. But if somehow you finish all these Nemesis quests without collecting 4000 broken bones, which is simply impossible, you can also farm Ashran for broken bones. So, once you've upgraded your Gladiator Sanctum to level 2 or 3, either is fine, you will need to accept the Warlord of Draenor quest. For this quest, you will have to collect 20 broken bones. Now the easiest way to do this is to find someone from the opposite faction who is willing to turn on war mode and let you kill them 2 or 3 times. You can also use your second account if you have one. If you can't find someone, you might want to queue up for Ashran till you have collected the 20 bones. Now keep in mind that broken bones only drop from honorable kills, meaning the player you kill needs to be close to your level. That said, the person I did this with was level 70, while I was level 80. Normally level 70 players wouldn't be considered honorable targets if you are level 80. However, if you have a friend or a guildie or whoever with a level 70 character, or in my case, a second account with some level 70 characters on it, you can use Party Sync. This will scale you down to level 70, making other level 70 players honorable targets again. Now, once you've collected 20 broken bones, you can turn in the quest and you will receive another quest called Nemesis Hunter. For this quest, you will need to burn a statue of a specific race. After burning the statue, you will get a follow-up quest called Becoming Death, where you will have to collect one heart from the same race. Now, normally you can only accept one Nemesis quest at a time. For example, if you burn the Pandaren statue, you will need to finish the 500 Pandaren kills before you can choose a new Nemesis quest. However, there used to be a way with Party Sync to accept all of the Nemesis quests at once. Now, I've seen some reports of it not working anymore, so I'm not sure if it still works, but if it does, then here is how to do this. Get invited to a party by a character that doesn't have a garrison. Once you are in the party, the person that invited you needs to activate Party Sync. When Party Sync is active, you will notice that you can select another Nemesis quest and burn down another statue. Basically just repeat this process until you've burned all of the statues and accepted every Nemesis quest at the same time. Now, as I said earlier, you are going to need people to farm these Nemesis titles quickly. Luckily, there are a lot of people that want these Nemesis and Highmark Colosseum titles. What I would recommend for you to do, if you can't find other people in your guild, or if needed, general chat, is to go to either the Achievement Discord or the Highmark Colosseum Discord, which is specifically made for the Nemesis titles and the Colosseum. You will find links to these Discord servers in the description below. So, to farm these Nemesis titles quickly, here is what you will need. You need someone from the opposite faction, preferably of the race that you need for your Nemesis title, who is willing to let you kill them repeatedly with war mode enabled. You will also need a player who can use mass resurrection to revive the target after each kill. That's the minimum setup required to farm 500 kills for a Nemesis title. That's basically it. But there is something that the game doesn't tell you, or at least I haven't seen it mentioned anywhere in the game. If you have more players in your party who are on the same Nemesis quest as you, each kill counts multiple times. So let me explain with an example. If there are 2 people in your party and both of them have the Pandaren Nemesis quest, each kill will count as 2. With 3 people on the same quest, each kill will count as 3. And if you have a full 5-man party, which is the maximum size for your party, each kill will count as 5. This means you only need to kill the target 100 times to complete the quest, which can be done in as little as 5 to 10 minutes. So the more players you have with the same quest, the faster it goes. For example, when I did this with 3 people, it took around 14 minutes to complete one Nemesis title. Later, I tried it with just 1 person, and it took us closer to 35 to 40 minutes to finish. Now, to make it a bit easier to understand, here is how I farmed all of the Nemesis quests easily. First, we looked for a Pandaren player who was willing to be farmed for a while. After some searching, we found one, and since he was kind enough to help, we gave him some gold as a thank you. While we were looking for a Pandaren, we also found another player who had the Pandaren Nemesis quest as well. So we invited him to our party, and at this point we had 3 people, which meant that we'd get 3 kills per kill. Now, I'm not the most patient person, so I wanted to get started quickly, especially since having 3 people already makes completing these Nemesis quests much faster. The only thing that we still needed was a mass resurrector, or the Pandaren. Luckily, I have a second account with a priest that can cast mass resurrection. As I mentioned earlier, everyone in the group needs to be around the same level for honorable kills to count. So we made the entire party consist of level 70 characters, since most players have a level 70 alt. You could also do this with a full level 80 group, but just make sure that everyone remains an honorable target. Once our killing party, Pandaren and mass resurrector were ready, we all turned on war mode and went to a place without any mobs. The panda would then unequip all of his gear so that he would die faster. Once everyone was in position, we killed the Pandaren, looted the heart for the Becoming Death quest, and turned it in at the garrison. After turning in that quest, we got the final Nemesis quest that requires killing 500 Pandarens. We then flew back to our farming spot and started killing the Pandaren repeatedly while the healer spammed mass resurrection. To make things a lot easier, we had the Pandaren install an add-on called Auto Resurrect. You can find the link in the description below. This add-on automatically accepts resurrection requests, so he could just immediately walk back to the spot where he could be killed again, without the healer getting interrupted by any attacks. Now, it's important that you avoid hitting the healer, because if they take damage, it can interrupt their mass resurrection and it could slow things a little bit down. So try to avoid hitting the healer. Now, if you are like me and you use 2 accounts, one for mass resurrecting and the other for collecting Nemesis kills, you don't need to worry about tagging the target. You will get credit for the kills as long as you are in the party, so you can focus entirely on spamming mass resurrection. Now, since we had 3 people in the group, each kill counted as 3. After about 14 minutes of farming, we hit the 500 kills required. Once you've completed the kills, turn in the quest at your garrison to get the Nemesis title for that race. That's basically all you need to do to complete all of the Nemesis achievements. Just repeat the same process for each race and you will have all the titles in no time. Now, before we move on to the Highmall Colosseum achievement, there is just one tip that I want to give to those that are having issues with trying to get both the Alliance players and Horde players on the same server. This might especially be useful for those that are inviting other players from different realms. Now, if you want to kill, for example, a Alliance Gnome that's on Silvermoon, but your Horde character is located on, let's say, Draenor, then what you could do is either have a Horde from Silvermoon invite you to their realm, or use a trial account or second account and make a Horde allied race on Silvermoon. After making that allied race, you can go to the place where you and your group are planning on farming the Nemesis titles, and once you are there, you can invite your main Horde character that has the Nemesis quest together with the rest of its party, and basically that way you should get phased over to the server where you need to be to see the opposite faction characters. So, after obtaining all of the Nemesis titles for one faction, you will need just one more achievement to get the Warlord of Draenor title. This final achievement is called Fight, Kill, Salute, and completing this will reward you with the Lady of War or Lord of War title and a faction-specific toy. Before you can get this achievement, you will need a level 3 Gladiator Sanctum. Once you've upgraded your Gladiator Sanctum, head outside the front gate of your garrison. You will see an ogre being carried by a couple of Draenei, offering the quest Call of the Gladiator. After accepting this quest, you have to turn it in Nagrand. After completing that quest, you will get a new quest called Fight, Kill, Salute. This quest requires you to kill 100 players, or gladiators, but here's the thing. If you win and are the last one standing in the Colosseum, you will instantly complete this quest and be rewarded with the title and toys. Now, if you've already completed all of the Nemesis titles for one faction, you will also unlock the title Warlord of Draenor. Now, the Fight, Kill, Salute achievement isn't hard at all, since you don't have to PvP for it anymore. Back in Draenor, you had to enter the arena and win, but now there's a way to avoid PvP altogether. Even though it's not hard to complete this achievement, it can be time-consuming and tedious because you need 15 people for it. Now, if you can't find 15 people, I would recommend joining the Highmall Colosseum Discord. Some people there are either forming groups or looking for more players. If you are in a guild that runs older content, you could also ask them as well. It did actually took us a while before we found enough people to do this with. Now, one thing I have to say is that if you are looking for players through general chat or looking for more chat, prepare yourself to deal with some, well, let's call them unique individuals. I had people tell me that they had a level 3 Colosseum because that's what's needed. But when we started to queue up, they had no idea what a Colosseum was, or Gladiator Sanctum, or even how to get to their garrison. Like, oh man, this achievement is so simple, but it's also really hard to get because you need to find 15 people that are at least capable of opening a door. It can be really tedious. Once you've gathered a group of 15 people, you can use this simple method to complete the achievement without PvP. After entering the Colosseum, everyone except one person logs out. You have to make sure that you use your logout button and not Alt F4. For those who don't know how to queue up for the Colosseum, you can do so at either Garg in Nagrand or Boneslag at your Gladiator Sanctum. So the person who remains inside the Colosseum goes up with the elevator. After a few minutes, the game will automatically declare them the winner, since there are no other opponents in the instance. The winner then can open up the chest, leave the raid group, and turn in the quest. Now, to make sure that everyone gets the achievement, one person, usually the party leader, has to create a list of the order in which players will log back in. Once the first person finishes, the next on the list has to log in 20 minutes later and repeat the same process. This does mean that if you are going to do this on your main, you won't be able to play on that character till it's your turn to log in. If you do log in earlier than 20 minutes, you might mess up everything. Now, if you don't want to wait for your turn because you really want to keep playing your main, you can use an alt that has a level 3 Sanctum as well. You can then enter the Colosseum with everyone else, log out, and basically after 1 to 2 hours, the instance should reset. You can then log back in on your alt, and you will be all alone in the Colosseum. The elevator will eventually take you to the top, and after some RP, you should win the Colosseum automatically. Now, this is how we got the achievement. We made a list of players, and each person took turns logging in to complete the achievement. Once someone was finished, they let us know, leave the party, and 20 minutes later, the next person logged in. That's basically how you will easily be able to get the Fight, Kill, Salute achievement, the Lady of War or Lord of War title, and the Warlord of Draenor title, if you've completed all of the Nemesis quests as well. Now, like I said before, these titles are pretty easy to get, but you just need to find people which, to be honest, can be a bit annoying. Anyway, I hope that this short video was helpful for some of you, and that you've liked the video. If you did and you want to see more content like this, then please consider subscribing. Also, if you have any questions or suggestions, just let me know in the comment section below. With that being said, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.